Hi, I want to talk today about anxiety and the physical symptoms of anxiety. I'm Dr. Jo Stewart and I'm a clinical psychologist. I think we all know about the symptoms of anxiety and they're talked about a lot, but I'm just curious about whether you know about why it is we experience those particular symptoms. And I want to talk about those today because I think it's useful for us to recognise that those symptoms are things that developed in hunter-gatherer times, and even though they were really useful then, they're not so useful now. But it's still, the symptoms tell us that we're in massive danger when actually maybe we're not. So what happens in the body, so this system, I should start with, that the system developed in hunter-gatherer times. So what we've got to think about is what was going on then. So we were all living out, there were wild animals all around, there were people coming from other tribes, killing us. It was quite a scary place to live. And I know that, certainly for some of my clients who've grown up in a war zone, it's, most of us cannot even imagine what that feels like. However, what happens in the body is that when the body or the brain thinks that we're facing a danger, what happens is we take in more oxygen, so we breathe more shallowly. That oxygen goes into the blood, and then the heart must pump that oxygen to the muscles to make us stronger. The reason is because if we think back to hunter-gatherer times, if a lion is going to come and attack me, I'm not going to survive. So in that moment, what has to happen is the system, the body, switches on everything to help me to become stronger and switches off everything that I don't need. So what happens, like I said, is that the oxygen goes into the blood, the heart pumps that to the muscles in order for me to be able to pick up a log and fight this lion or run really fast. That is the fight and flight. But also, at the same time, if I'm just about to be killed by a lion, I don't need to digest food. So we suddenly stop digesting food. That's why some people feel butterflies in their tummy or feel a bit nauseous, or people get IBS symptoms if they have a lot of anxiety over a long period of time. Also, if I'm just about to be killed by a lion, I don't need to think, I just need to be strong. So we send less oxygen to the brain, and that's why people feel dizzy. But actually, the system, the sympathetic nervous system that's switched on to help us with that fight and flight response,